Hey now, welcome to the City Off Campus podcast with your two favorite hosts, Sammy Sommerfeld and Jack McFarland. So today we're going to do a little bit of a different type of pod where we're not diving into today's news, bringing on an athlete, bringing on a media member, bringing on someone in sports business. Today we're diving into a draft. And Jack, you want to know what this draft is? It is what is the all-time best sports TV shows and movies ever made. The way this draft is going to work is Jack and I have 6 starting spots where we can pick 3 movies and 3 TV shows and 2 bench spots. And what we're going to do is Jack's about to flip a coin virtually, of course, because Jack doesn't like to flick a coin. He just can't. He just can't do it. Like, it's just all that high school football. Like, you know, just he just
it crippled my hands.
Yeah. And so we're going to do that. We'll decide who has the first pick, and then we're going to start running this draft. Jack, are you ready for the coin flip?
Oh, I fucking sure am. Let's roll. All right, let's flip it, baby. Which one are you taking, heads or tails, Sam?
I'll call heads.
All right, flip again.
Let's go. First pick.
You got first pick.
And then we have 2 bench spots. So, Jack, you can pick your bench spot first, okay? You can do bench.
Sure. Yeah, I'm cool with it.
So, with my first pick, on the TV show side, I'm going TV first. I'll give up the movie first. TV show side, I'm going The League. So, and if you don't know about The League, and we can give a little description.
Talk about it. What is The League? I don't even know what it is.
It's a group of buddies. Have you never seen The League? Actually,
I'm acting like I'm a person who doesn't know.
Okay, good. I literally was gonna say we have to stop this pod right now.
When I was sick,
the definition of a guy who would be on The League.
When I was in like 6th grade, I was sick once, and I stayed home. Of course, probably wasn't sick, and I found The League one day, and I think I watched the first season in one day. It was just one of those where I loved it right away.
I see you kind of as a Pete on The League. So the League, though, is a group of buddies who grew up together, who are now, like, you know, in their 40s, living in the suburbs of Chicago and living in Chicago. And there's one guy named Andre who's a plastic surgeon, absolute butt of every joke, hilarious. Like, he's just like the weirdest guy you will ever meet. Then there's Pete, who's just kind of an average guy, but he is very good at fantasy and he's very like fixated on The League. Then there's Ruxin, like, basically his religion is their fantasy football league. That's the best way to sum up Ruxin, where he'll do anything to get an edge in the league. And then there's Kevin, who's the commissioner, who literally doesn't catch a break, where he runs the league but will never make the championship in the fantasy football league. And then, like, I gotta, you can dive into Taco if you want, but I gotta dive into Rafi and Dirty Randy. Dirty Randy's played by Seth Rogen. Absolute best TV duo of all time, Rafi and Dirty Randy. Can you agree, Jack?
Best duo in TV history?
One of the best duos in sports TV history.
Okay, yeah. I mean, when you filter it like that, maybe. Yeah. But I think there's a duo later on this list that could definitely give them a run for their money. Not going to reveal any picks because that's strictly immature. So yeah, but no, I agree. It's a phenomenal pick. And I liked how The League, like, it was kind of before its time by like, implementing like NFL athletes and like bringing them in, and like the old thing where fantasy players always like talk shit about the players who sucked, and then you put them in front of you and you never say anything. It was just like, it was cool.
Shout out to Cinco, please.
Yeah, it was just good interactions all the way around. I like that show.
Now the one thing I have to say though is the GOAT. One reason I had to pick this too to fit into Chicago sports is the GOAT is featured in this show. Jay Cutler, the GOAT. I just have to say, to all you Jay Cutler haters out there, if there are any anymore, because if you see him on Twitter and on Instagram, I mean, how can you hate him, even if you didn't like his play in Chicago? I mean, he's on The League, and he has a top 10 league episode. All I have to say about Jay Cutler being on there. So you got to pick The League. It's very on brand for me, you know? So, yeah. Jack, going into movies or TV shows, what are you picking here?
I think the easy one TV show for me, and I think for a lot of people, Friday Night Lights. that show is everything that my life was and then some.
I gave you that pick. But
yeah, I appreciate you. That's respect. You know, it's one of those things when you just watch that show as a 14-year-old and you're like, man, I can't wait to be a varsity football player and just get all the girls, you know, and then just like everybody in town comes to the game. Like the town shuts down. None of the shops are open. None of the restaurants. Everybody's at the game just watching. And then like the star player breaks their leg and the team's in disarray and nobody has any idea. And then a guy named Matt Saracen comes out of nowhere, some 12-year-old looking dude. And while the football in the show, like it's not great football, I would say they did it better than a lot of other shows. But Friday Night Lights, like I'll call it 10% action on the football field. And it's like 90% drama that you actually feel like you're a part of.
You have to see it.
Unreal. I remember before I had ever watched it, I think it was my cousins who told me they'd seen it. And they cried at the end of it. I was like, you guys are pansies. You guys cried at a TV show? Like, what? And then I watched it. Not going to give any spoilers, but you get connected to any of the characters. Not going to name any names, but it'll definitely make you cry, shed a tear, make you emotional.
So when Jack's talking about being that 14-year-old kid, he watched Riggins, and he's like, I'm going to be Riggins when I'm in high school. Am I right or right?
Dude, I was, I mean, I watched Riggins, and I go, boy, I can't wait to be him, and I was the least bit like him. But,
so from a scale of 1 to 10, like, the girls that Riggins got compared to you, like, where does that rank? Like, on average, if Riggins got every Friday night, like 2 or 3 girls' numbers, how many numbers did you get?
Well, there's a difference here. One, Riggins, he had the ball in his hand, so everybody knew his name because of the PA announcer. So he had that out for him. People knew his name. I had to make my name known in other ways. So he had that already going, the notoriety, which I'm not going to take away from him. And then was he a two-way player, or am I just mistaking myself?
Early in the show, he was a two-way guy.
Okay, so he's like a high school all-star because he can play both sides. I didn't. I mean, I was just like an offense guy, so people didn't like me like that. So I wasn't like a stud around school. But correct me if I'm wrong again. Tim Riggins, number 44.
I forgot his number. I thought it was like 29.
Dude, I don't remember. I'm gonna look it up right now because I think I'm cool. No, he was like in the 30s or something. Never mind. I was just gonna like compare numbers, and I thought my number is cooler than his. But in any case, Tim Riggins, his first dog that he gets in the show. This isn't even a spoiler. It's just, dude, watch it. He gets a dog. He names it Skeeter. I named my first car Skeeter. So I'm basically Tim Riggins in essence. But yeah, I mean, I think that is a 1-1 show, and it will stand for itself when we do a poll and everyone votes. So yeah, that's my vote. Back to you.
Yeah, I mean, I would basically say I'm Jason Street pre-injury.
See, the problem is I'd never seen Jason Street play pre-injury. So
remember they're sitting at his birthday party and they're watching highlights?
Were those of him or were those?
Yeah, they were of him. He threw bombs.
Oh, well, then I'll have to go look at those. All I remember is him being a moody asshole. I mean, I would be too if I had my career taken away from me. If I try to go tackle someone.
I would say Jason Street pre-injury with me with a little bit mixed, like with a little bit of Smash Williams sprinkled in there.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
I have the ego smash. That's what I would say. I have the ego smash.
Actually, I would say Saracen and Smash are the better duo right away.
True. But going into my next pick, I'm going to go TV here again. And this is more of a sports business show, but it is okay, Jack, I love HBO shows. I'm a big Entourage fan. Love Entourage. Ballers is the Entourage of sports shows. And one shout out to Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. I mean, he's just an absolute beast in this show. But the other thing with Ballers is, fun fact, my uncle, who is a team doctor in Miami, one of the episodes was filmed in his office. So I had to take this show. It's a family connection. You know what I mean?
You know which season, episode?
Season 1 and maybe a little bit of season 2. There might have been some film in there too. I don't remember, but I don't know the exact episode. But if I watched the whole thing back, I could tell you the episode.
Ballers was one of the first shows I ever watched, and I was just drawn to. And I remember it was one of the first ones where like I took my phone out and started Shazamming some songs that they would have in like the intro sequence.
Mm-hmm.
And they just
the
they just
Lil
did
Wayne
everything
Drake
right.
song.
Well, no, not that
Right
song.
above it.
After they would intro with that, they'd have another song for when the camera's coming in for wherever they're at.
But right above it, one of the best show songs ever.
Oh, 100%. That show made me like love that lifestyle, and I was just like grasping at it from my bed, and I just unreal, that show. And it's, I mean, I read something one day that said, this is a while ago, but it's like that's the closest representation of what The Rock's actual life is like. And it's Dwayne's acting as Dwayne's acting as like a business finance guy working with like sports agents, athletes, whatever. But like just the like lifestyle he has in that show.
Oh yeah.
I'd say that's a pretty like, other than not seeing him eat like 8 trillion calories a day and work out for 4 hours somehow with all that he does. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely a top show for me.
I mean, the thing that haunted, I mean, they would play it every summer. It's now, over, which was sad, but every summer I'd get all juiced up, like so excited, ready to watch the show. I think it was every Tuesday night and every weekday Tuesday night. And then the thing that would haunt me is I'm like, this life is 2 hours away from me. It is on the other coast of Florida. I could have access to this. I was like, I want this now. But awesome show. I mean, the attention to details was awesome. When they, go to Dolphins camp, when they use the real NFL logos, when, all this other stuff. I'm not going to spoil like actual season stuff, but great show. Mark Wahlberg was on that too, and it was Peter Berg.
Peter Berg hits it out of the park. Dude.
Oh, he's unreal. But that is my number 2 pick. Jack, what do you got?
So mine's kind of in the same vein as my first pick. TV show. Something I watched a lot in high school as well, and something that kind of kept a door and a mindset open for me of like what I kind of wanted college to be like for me. My second pick for TV is going to be Blue Mountain State.
That was my third.
That has to go top 2. And I think pairing it with Friday Night Lights is even better because it's kind of like the R-rated raunchy version of what Friday Night Lights is. And it was perfect in every way. So I think it also has a rewatchability.
Are you sad?
No, but I think you can rewatch any episode of Blue Mountain State, not need the context of it, and enjoy it. With Friday Night Lights, I'd say you might need the context. I'd say with the league, maybe you need a little context. Ballers, but I would say Blue Mountain State, it's similar to The Office where you can just put like any episode on it, doesn't matter. You're going to be entertained and it's funny. And it's there's just some very like the field full of weed or running down the football field with an Oreo in your ass. Like that's or the oil change when they're all trying to pass the drug test. Like that, man, that show opened my eyes to what college football was like. And it still is like that today in my eyes. I think. Yeah. I think Division III football is like that.
I mean, we might just have to get some.
Are they a D1 school on the show?
Yeah, they're D1. It looks like it's D3, but it's D1.
Yeah, well, they have like a program of a D3. Yeah. Fair.
But I will say, I think we got to get some actual D1 football players on the show and have them watch the show with us and tell us what is accurate and what is not.
Yeah, see if they actually got hazed and were asked to run down a field naked with a cookie between their cheeks. I'm sure that'd go over well, and I'm sure they'd answer that right away.
We might have to just talk to some fraternities about that.
Yeah, I know one or two.
My third pick out of the TV category it's the basketball version. Early on in the first 2-3 seasons, for the most part, of Friday Night Lights. And this show, So a little backstory on me. Back in my middle school days, 7th, 8th grade, I binged, bro. I was a TV show binger. I would start at 11
You were a
p.m.
binge drinker in 7th grade. I was gonna say, whoa.
No, that would have been another story too. But that wasn't
Definitely,
me, unfortunately. But as a 7th, 8th grader, bro, with my iPad or my laptop, get on, after a long day of middle school, 10 p.m. at night, get on Netflix, and I just start pushing through shows, just plowing through episodes, just pushing through. It would be 3 a.m. and I'm like, you know what, gotta watch one more episode. So back in the middle school days, I was getting great grades, but I was getting like 3 hours of sleep, where then I'd be in class like by 2 p.m. and I'd just be like actually sleeping in class. And my teacher, I would always think the teachers didn't notice, but I just realized that now looking back on it, I got such good grades. I think they just didn't care. But this show started off the binging years. I binged till 9th grade, and then I was like, okay, gotta focus. I don't binge ever anymore. Very rarely do I binge shows because
it really sounds like you have a binge drinking problem.
Yeah, I know.
Just like covering with like a show watching.
It basically was like a binge drinking problem, but for shows. Whoa. Like it was bad. Like, I mean, it wasn't bad where I had to go to like,
Well, I'm glad we're talking about it here on the podcast.
I didn't need this is for everybody who binges too much out there. Like, there are people out there. Like, I never needed an intervention. It was a self-intervention where I had to look back and I had to say, you know what? You stay up all day. You're staying up all night binging shows.
Holy shit! What's the pick?
I'm getting there. So this show is one of my favorite shows of all time in general, and that is One Tree Hill. And I will come out.
Oh,
I will come out with that. One Tree Hill, great sports TV show.
Never seen it.
You've never seen this show?
No.
Are you serious?
No, I know buddies of mine who have seen it and who like it. Never seen it. And I think I'm okay with not seeing it.
Oh my God, no, you have to.
At this point in my life, I am okay.
If you love the drama of FNL, you would.
But I'm like out of that phase. I'm out of that. I'm okay now.
Jack, we get it. You're in a fraternity. You're this big sports guy. We get it. You're like, you're so cool. But you gotta see Lucas Scott and Nathan Scott. One of the best basketball duos of all time. But the thing too is, you follow Nathan Scott where he's like a Duke prodigy. He gets a scholarship to Duke and stuff to play basketball. Loses the scholarship. Plays D3 basketball.
Tell me how he lost it, and I might be interested.
He lost it. Oh, you would like this because he was a point shaver.
All right, that's
good. And guess who his bookie was? Guess who the bookie was? Rick Fox.
Oh, damn it. You got me hooked.
Yes. No, this is like in season 2, season 3. You got to watch a little bit. But it's good. And he eventually, I'm not going to spoil this part.
That's fine. Good. I respect that.
But it is one of the best shows. I will admit, this is one of the few shows, and this will be on the internet forever. I get it. But I cried to OTH at one point. There's one point, I'm not going to spoil it, but there were tears. Every time I watch that episode, there are tears. And most people I talk to get tears. It's that good of a show, Jack. That good of a show.
All right. I don't know if this pick is going to overtake One Tree Hill. Actually, just kidding. I know it's going to. It's got one of the best soundtracks ever, one of the best storylines. Even though part of it is butchered, it's still an absolute classic. Remember the Titans. First movie off the board.
Okay.
First movie off the board. I don't know how much talking I got to do for Remember the Titans.
Yeah.
Every song that is in that movie is iconic, is something you want to sing along with. It's a movie you could throw on at any time, and it's a movie that it is on all the time. Whenever you look on TV, it's on probably 8 times out of 10. So
I legit have a friend who she watches Remember the Titans, and that's the only movie she watches. Like literally every day on her Snapchat story.
Sam.
Every day on her Snapchat story, she posts the like logo of Remember the Titans. Like she is dedicated to the Remember the Titans grind.
We'll talk off camera about that. But yeah, Remember the Titans. That movie, Denzel in an unreal role. People like to call him overrated. I think he was the man in that. And I think the like football that there is in the movie is actually good.
Good.
Like
Yeah.
what you see is good. So it makes it realistic. It's if you haven't seen Remember the Titans at this point, if you're listening, just pause this, go watch it, make some popcorn, make yourself an adult drink if you're of age. If not, have a Sprite, watch it. And I'm going to tell you, if we had the aliens come down tomorrow, Sam, and we had to tell them what is like the human life, human culture, I'd show them Remember the Titans, because that shows every aspect of
name the other
humanity.
famous actor in Remember the Titans, like A-list actor in Remember the Titans. He was in the. I'll give you a hint. He was in The Notebook.
Never seen The Notebook.
Oh, dude. Of course you say that on camera. Ryan Gosling, bro.
Oh shit, I keep forgetting. Yeah, because he gets pulled. He gets pulled and his dad gets all pissed. Spoiler. I mean, look, it shouldn't be a spoiler. You just see the damn movie. One of the most iconic scenes after the car accident.
21 years ago. It came out 21 years ago. Look, you should be able to see Remember the Titans. Like, you should
the scene after, I don't remember, is it Gary after the after they win? He's driving downtown and then he gets T-boned and Julius is coming in to like see him and he looks at this nurse and he goes, "Hey bitch, can't you tell this is my brother?" And white, black, it was just like such an unreal scene, especially for the time.
Emotional. It's emotional too. Very. They play the music in the background a little bit at the end. Like,
great movie. Top and it's real. It is a real movie.
It's a real story.
Real story, right.
Now, my number one movie off the board, and this one's a classic too, is a Disney classic, Miracle on Ice.
Had to. You felt pressure and you had to take it. I respect that.
Herb Brooks, bro. Awesome coach.
Awesome. Yeah, one of the worst things that ever was is you never got to see the movie, you know?
I know. And whenever you watch that movie, if you're not a proud American in some way, it makes you a proud American. Every time it reminds you why you're a proud American. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I looked up like kind of like the production story of like why they came up with Miracle, and it came out in 2004. Obviously we didn't see it, remember it when we were that young, but
yeah,
it was like right after, within 3 years of 9/11, America was like kind of they just didn't really feel great. And what they wanted to do when they like made the movie was show like how America had that same like down and out, like we feel like nothing feeling during the Cold War, and try and like show that there is still like greener grass. And I told my buddies this once and I was just like, I love Miracle. Don't get it twisted. Like, great movie. It's kind of propaganda-ish if you think about it, because they're showing America as being the best word, and they do that in, but like,
they don't at the start.
Right.
They talk about the gas shortages. They show all the struggles going on in America.
Right, and then the
1918 was America's only hope to like really bring some joy.
Right, but then that team in reality is made like a mythical icon for all of Americans when these guys,
they beat the Soviets, bro.
Right.
They beat the Soviets.
I get it. But the movie shows that the moment was bigger than these guys. And it's not like they joined to play and beat the Soviets. Like, that's not why they were. There was this scene in the bar where they're like, I just played to like get the girls. They like had to figure out what it was about. In that scene where Herb's yelling again.
Yeah. Oh, that's a great scene.
They learn like, yeah, it's about America. It's about the name on the front, not on the back. Yeah, it's a cliche, but it really hammered home that it's America first. That has O'Callahan with his knee a long way from the heart.
So I want to ask you something. Who's your favorite guy on Miracle on the team in the movie? Is it Jim Craig, Micah Ruzioni, Jack O'Callahan, or Ralph Cox? Because Ralph with the stash.
I kind of like Coxie because his answer was good. Why do you play college hockey? Well, for the girls, obviously. Oh, for real, why do you play college hockey?
I liked O'Callahan. He was my favorite.
Won a national championship. That scene is one of the most quotable scenes
ever.
in history. I'll go with my buddies and we'll just say every line for line of that entire bar scene. Stole the ring right off my finger. Fuck. Love that movie. Unreal. I had a roommate this year who hadn't seen it. Unfreaking believable. Sean Marin.
Of course he didn't.
I'll put him on blast. Sean Marin hadn't seen Miracle.
That is
unreal.
Dude. How did you let him stay in your house?
Well, we made him watch it, and he actually fought us because he didn't want to watch it. Because Sean was like, I don't want to watch a sports movie. I don't want to. We're like, Sean, this isn't like any sports movie. This is Miracle.
Right.
Right. And he eventually watched it. He's like, oh, I liked it. It was good. I was like, oh, Jesus, Sean. Meanwhile,
you're pulling teeth.
My hockey roommates were over here fucking bawling. Like they're like, so yeah, Miracle, and it hits hockey players harder.
What's your next pick?
All right, I gotta take a gander at movies. I was gonna overdraft here. I don't think I'm gonna. I'm gonna head back to the TV side of things because we had 3 and 3, right?
And then we have 2 bench.
All right, 3 and 3. I'm gonna go TV. I have to take the last one that I have watched, Ted Lasso.
Okay.
I think Ted Lasso.
Bold play here.
Within the last,
I've seen clips. I haven't watched it though.
You need to watch Ted Lasso.
Ted Lasso. Okay.
If you imagine Sammy Sommerfeld are put into the office of a Premier League soccer club, and you have to be the manager.
Yeah.
You have, and let's say you were born in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. You think you got any idea how to manage a soccer club?
Oh yeah, dude. I know everything to do.
Totally. Right. Well, just imagine. And I mean, this show has won how many awards? I'm not going to say much about it because it is relatively new.
Yeah. You got to be fair.
3 years.
Didn't the second episode or didn't the second season just come out?
Right. I'm telling you.
You got to be fair. You got to be fair to the listeners.
Oh God, what's the guy's name in it? Oh,
it's the guy who was in Where the Millers, Jason Sudeikis or whatever.
Jason Sudeikis, yeah.
Yeah.
Yep, Jason Sudeikis. That's his face. He's got such a recognizable face, and I can never remember his name. But yeah, I'm not going to say much about it because it is pretty new. But if you haven't seen Ted Lasso, I'm telling you, it's top notch. It's funny. It is fall off your chair, hilarious.
And just to be clear to our listeners, Ted Lasso did not sponsor this podcast. So if that sounded like an ad read by Jack, Ted Lasso did not sponsor this podcast.
I know. And look, I'm a mental midget when it comes to these things. So I have to make sure what I'm watching is good in the public's eyes.
Yeah.
Ted Lasso is a 94 on Rotten Tomatoes. So take that what you will.
So my next movie pick, this one, I will admit I'm drafting a little high. But it's one of my favorite movies. It's one of the best football movies ever. It shows how you grind. It shows the era that football was played in. And that is The Express, the Ernie Davis story. One of my favorite movies. We had a car when I was growing up with a DVD player in it. And me and my brother would watch that movie on repeat. Dennis Quaid was unreal.
Yep.
Yeah. Omar Benson Miller, who was JB. Awesome. I love how they go from Jim Brown to Ernie Davis to Floyd Little, and it shows the eras that all were number 44. I will be honest, back then I was I'm all in. I'm going to Syracuse. I got juiced up because it was just such a good movie. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But Ernie Davis, I always say with Ernie Davis, and I want to ask you this: what do you think? He could have been Jim Brown-esque if he was able to play in the NFL, really play in the NFL. If he didn't die, he died from leukemia at 23. He was the first African-American Heisman Trophy winner. And that includes, he came after Jim Brown. There were a lot of other backs before him. He was the first African-American. He met John F. Kennedy after he won it. And at 23, he did a lot at 23, and then he passed away at 23, but he got drafted number 1. And what happened was, the Redskins had the number 1 pick, but they were still segregating their teams. They were the only NFL team still segregating their teams, or one of the few. And they're like, we are not drafting an African-American player, number one, no matter how good he is. So the Cleveland Browns trade for him, and him and Jim Brown were going to play together with the Cleveland Browns. And Ernie Davis was going to wear 45.
Yeah,
Ultimate football story if it would have been, if they would have played together. And that was when the Browns were winning championships.
Well, it's the ultimate Browns story to kind of have that little wrinkle in history, and then they win all those championships with Jim Brown, and they're legit. Otto Graham, I think, and now you look at the Browns, and it was Baker Mayfield that was the one that brought him back to the playoffs. Took him that long. It took a guy like that.
I mean,
we're talking about Ernie. We're talking about
the 90s, but
oh yeah, well they weren't shit in the 90s. I mean, they still wore paper bags on their faces like 3 years later. So I mean, it's all relative with the Browns. They're just begging to make the playoffs. That's excellence to them. And I mean, when I say that, that's kind of the same thing for the Bears. So it's kind of like, hey, Jack, look in the mirror, quit being an asshole. But whatever, it is what it is. But I agree with that.
It was also the first movie as a kid where it really opened my eyes to the segregation that took place in the 1960s and the 50s, where they play in the Cotton Bowl against Texas, and you just see he literally had to sleep in a closet at first. Like they're like, sorry, you can't sleep with the regular. He was one of the few black players on the team, and they would stop at like gas stations on their road trips, and they couldn't go in. And it just, if you want to really see what it was like, one, for an African-American athlete at that time, but also see what it was like in just the country, it's a great movie to capture that piece of history for people who will just never understand that level of discrimination, what was going on before everything happened, in the civil rights movement.
Yeah. So to kind of change the tone of the picks here, Sam, with a lighthearted but more serious one. My next movie one is going to be an absolute home run, an absolute knee slapper of a movie, Semi-Pro. Okay. One of, if not the best basketball movies ever created.
Very good basketball movie.
One of, if not the best ever created. You still see people dress up as the Flint Tropics for Halloween.
Yeah.
That's all I'll say. That movie is what's the thing they call a cult classic?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a definite cult classic for this generation. One of my favorite scenes, Jackie getting punched in the jejunum and throwing up for the first time. Monix getting chewed out on the bus, and Jackie telling everyone his ring stands for love. I mean, that movie is full of quotes, people getting called jive turkeys, and someone getting shot at the poker table. God bless that movie. One of the best basketball movies ever. Period. End of debate.
My final movie before we go into Mr. Relevant and Jack's last pick, or, the bench, I should say, not Mr. Relevant, but that's what they will be, is the best, like one of the top 3 baseball movies of all time, because it has the best Chicago franchise in it. I have to go Rookie of the Year. I mean, phenomenal. Like, I know, Jack, you love that movie. Like, you can't even say you don't. It embodies Chicago.
I actually have never seen it.
You've never seen Rookie of the Year with Henry Rodman Garner. You've never seen? Yes, you have. You're lying here. You've seen this movie. And The Rocket. Oh my God, The Rocket.
I know what it's about. God. I've never seen it.
Oh my God. So Rookie of the Year is about, I'm telling the audience, not you, because I know you've seen it. It's about a 12-year-old kid who sucked at baseball. He was the worst kid on his little league team. They all made fun of him. Yeah, it was basically the Jack McFarland story. But when Jack gets injured, he just becomes a worse of an athlete. When Henry gets hurt, he breaks his arm. It changes his arm. He can throw 95. He gets recruited by the Cubs. They're like, hey, we need you, because obviously the Cubs are the Cubs. The Cubs turn into a playoff team. And Henry and the Rocket. I'm not even going to tell you about him. But you just got to know the Rocket to watch this movie. And Henry goes off, dude. He runs Major League Baseball as a 12-year-old kid. Great movie. Another notable one, this is not in my draft list, but I just want to reference that we're in the kids' sports movie stuff, is Like Mike. That's another great movie, too. And I know that's on your list, so Like Mike, phenomenal movie when a kid gets a pair of Air Jordans. They get struck through the wiring, like through lightning, whatever. Comes the NBA player, he crosses over Iverson, dunks on Vince Carter. Hell of a sports movie. That's all I have to say. Jack, let's go into your last pick.
All right. So my last one, is it a TV show? Is that what I still have?
Yep, you have one show left.
All right, one show left. The last sports show, Eastbound and Down.
Ooh.
Kenny fucking Powers. That guy, burned out major leaguer, absolute hilarious. Will Ferrell's in that one too. Yeah, I mean, if you ever need, like, if you ever want to know what happens to those guys who are really good but are cocky assholes and they don't make it, this is exactly what happens. Eastbound and Down. I don't really have a ton to say about it because I saw 1.5 seasons. I haven't seen all of it, but I know Eastbound and Down definitely is in this category. It's a lot raunchier. It's more Blue Mountain State side, but it's one of, if not the funniest TV shows.
Okay, well, going off that, I will start off the Mr. Irrelevant round, my bench, with another Will Ferrell movie. And this also features the coach, Mike Ditka, which is Kicking and Screaming. Phenomenal soccer movie. I mean, if you want to laugh and if you want to enjoy sports and being that like absolute soccer dad or soccer grandpa in this movie, hell of a movie. That's all I have to say. Like Mike Ditka in it, coaching up soccer, coaching these kids. I mean, if it doesn't make you more of a Bears fan watching this movie, I don't know if you can really be a real Bears fan if you don't enjoy this movie. You know what I mean?
Fair, definitely. And I think with this next pick, I wouldn't really be a Sox fan if I didn't say it, but yeah. Field of Dreams.
I was giving you that one.
Playing there. Gotta say it. If you build it, they'll come. Well, they built the stadium. Everybody's coming to watch the Sox against the Yankees. Reports are it's like $2,000 to $3,000 for a ticket. It's what it is when you're trying to watch the best team in baseball play there. So
everybody's there for the Yankees, dude. The Yankees only come to the Midwest every so often. They gotta appreciate the Yankees, and I get it. Like I respect it. If the Yankees were coming to my home state, I'd want to go spend $8,000 on the Yankees too. I mean, it makes sense. And see former Cubs players like Craig and, you know, some Eloy, like some of the boys, you know, some of the Cubbies, you know, but that's another story. And Jack, oh wait, you just did your pick. I'll do my pick here. I am going, this is a movie I know you've never seen before, so I had to say it. It is one of the best holiday movies of all time. If you're a basketball
Die Hard.
No, dude. If you're a basketball junkie, you are going to love this movie. It teaches you so much. Full Court Miracle is a Disney Channel basketball movie, early 2000s, and it's about Hanukkah and basketball. It's about these kids at a Jewish
Sam, I've never
school.
seen it. You know I haven't.
I know. And now you got to watch it. That is
what's it called?
Full Court Miracle.
Full Court
amazing. Dude, I was talking to someone I know who works in professional basketball, and they were saying if you haven't watched Full Court Miracle, you are missing out. That's all I have to say. Professional basketball people love Full Court Miracle.
Sam, I hate to be the bearer of bad news. Rotten Tomatoes has it at a 44%.
Dude, that's what makes it so good, though, bro.
I only watch Fine Cinema. I can't do it.
And dude, Full Court Miracle, Full Court Miracle tells you the story of Hanukkah, mixes it with basketball. Oh, dude, like if you want to learn, it's amazing. Jack, you're not Jewish. If you want to learn about the Jewish religion, you got to watch Full Court Miracle.
That's fair. You know,
it's a cultural thing.
You can only be ignorant for so long. Sometimes you just have to watch it. Yeah,
you got to do it. So that is
where can I find it? Where can I find it?
Oh, it's on Disney Plus. Oh, I'll give you my login. Don't worry.
I'm one of the only people in the world that doesn't have Disney Plus.
You can look it up on YouTube too.
Yeah, I'm sure I could look it up.
And Lamont Carr,
sites.
Lamont Carr plays the coach. If you don't know who Lamont Carr is, or actually the coach's name is Lamont Carr. That's my bad. The actor's Richard T. Jones, who's an absolute legend. But that is my last pick. I mean, all the listeners know who've seen Full Court Miracle. You can't really top Full Court Miracle, but let's hear what you have to say.
Wait, how many picks? How many picks do I still have remaining? I'm looking
You have
at
one.
this. Did I pick too many TVs?
I picked 3.
Why did I pick 4?
Wait, which ones did you pick? You picked your wild card and you picked Field of Dreams was.
Field of Dreams is a movie. Yeah.
Yeah.
Why did I pick 4 TV?
What are your 4 TVs?
Eastbound,
Yeah.
Lasso,
Yeah.
BMS, Friday Night Lights.
So that's your other wild card then.
I'll
you want to go one more?
that.
You want to go one more pick?
Yeah, I'll go one more because I
Okay.
have so many left that I still want to talk about. My last movie. Oh my God, this is such a. This is so hard. Sam, I might have to go back to flipping the coin.
Oh, I can rally one off if you need me to.
All right, you know what? Nope, I have a coin right here. I'm gonna flip a coin because I need to flip one. This decision's too hard. I'm calling heads.
We might have to do 2 pods of this because I literally have such a long list of potential movies.
All right, my last one, Division 3's Finest.
Oh.
Have you ever seen it?
Yes, I have seen that.
That is one of, if not the most quotable football movies ever. Favorite line.
I was not expecting that one.
And I'm the lawnmower. How? Yeah. That movie is horribly mean and should not stand the test of 2021 and being canceled. But by God, that movie is hilarious. I can't say half the things that they say on here. I wish I could because they're fucking hilarious. So Division 3's Finest. They just took it off Netflix like within the last year, I think, or 2. So that was a real bummer. One of my buddies has it on DVD. So, but what a classic. Got to be the best movie to round it out because Division 3, lowest level of ball, last on the bench. Cool with that.
So with my final pick, I'm trying to decide between a couple because this is tough. I'm trying to pick between a childhood classic where everybody knows this movie, everybody enjoys the movie, or do I go one of the ones that tells a sports story that's just like one of the best? Which one do you want?
The one that's not as corny.
Oh, you know what? I'm throwing out a third one. He Got Game.
Okay. I like that.
He Got Game.
I like that.
Got some Ray Allen action, some Denzel action. I think that's a good way to round this one out.
I like that. I want to give some honorable mentions because they're off the bench. Just some honorable mentions I couldn't get in there.
Okay, then I'll list a couple after you.
Okay. Coach Carter.
Yep.
Love Coach Carter.
Yep.
Blindside. I think Blindside just a little.
That was one of the ones I was debating between.
I've seen it too many times. It's just the stories. I think it's just because like we grew up in it. Whatever. Hoop Dreams. That's unreal. Major League.
Yep.
Rudy.
I know. I thought you were gonna pick Rudy. I was like.
Yeah, well, Rudy was offsides. Nobody likes to talk about it. Hold on.
Keep going. Okay.
A League of Their Own.
Yeah.
That movie's awesome. 42, Goon, and then McFarlane USA.
Of course. I have some of the ones that you didn't name. I have Bull Durham. I have The Babe. I have Concussion. I have, because that's a phenomenal movie. Soul Surfer. Had to throw Soul Surfer.
Oh my God, I forgot about Soul Surfer.
Secretariat. Invincible. Mark Wahlberg movie.
The greatest American athlete ever, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. The greatest game ever played. Shia LaBeouf golf movie. White Men Can't Jump. 8 Men Out, which I thought you were gonna give. Rocky. Hang Time, which is a TV show featuring a former Bulls player, so I didn't include Hang Time. Great 90s NBC show. And then of course I've gotten here. Luck of the Irish. If you haven't seen Luck of the Irish, you gotta watch Luck of the Irish. Trouble with a Curve, good movie.
Great movie.
Sandlot.
Oh, Forgot about Sandlot.
I left that out because I thought that was too basic. Space Jam, Hoosiers.
Yeah, I like Hoosiers. Wait, what's the
and
one?
Jerry Maguire. Jerry Maguire was one I was going to give too.
What's the
Show
movie
me the money
about the Texas like Western, Texas Southern?
Yeah. Texas. Yeah. The basketball team.
Yeah, God, I don't remember the name of that. That movie was unreal too. One that just came to mind that we all forgot. Airbud.
Yep. Glory
Dodgeball.
Road. I had Glory Road written
Glory
down
Road.
too. Yeah.
Dodgeball. That's another good
Dodgeball.
one.
And then the other one I had too
ESPN
was
8 The Ocho.
I had Angels in the Outfield.
Oh, baby, is that a good one? That movie tripped me out as a kid, dude.
I know.
Creeped me out seeing those gross ass mofos in the outfield. Ugh.
I have Moneyball.
Yeah. I see, like Moneyball, I wanted to pick it, but I didn't because
it's an honorable
Moneyball
mention. That's what I'm saying.
No, but like I didn't because, and I'm explaining why, because it's like we live in that era right now of baseball. Like Moneyball's every day, you know, like they showed it, like how it came to be and why and like where, but like we kind of still live in that, like with so many other teams now that the movie in itself, like I don't know how true all of it is.
Most of it's true.
Well, yeah, but like it's still a movie. And it's like they make it seem like Oakland's the only team doing Moneyball. It's like, no, it's like every team kind of does a Moneyball in a sense.
Yeah, but they did it with no budget.
A lot of teams don't have a great budget.
Okay. Well, and the final movie I'm going to list off, and this was one I was trying to get in the relevant picks, was High School Musical. And here's my argument.
We fucked up. That's a great pick.
Right. So I was going to include that, and then I was like, you're going to make that a clip. So then I was like, I don't know if I should do that. But
yeah, I probably would.
Because you would have cut out my reasoning.
Exactly.
One, I mean, Troy Bolton and the East High Wildcats beating West High for the state championship. I mean, hell of a comeback, first of all. The movie had a hell of a comeback. Two, the songs are bangers. Like, the thing I was going to say is relatable to everyone our age is you can be in Spoko, chilling, listening to some Miley Cyrus. Next thing you know, it's a High School Musical remix played on you. So it's not just a movie, but it's a soundtrack that you know and you love. Like, you're singing it when you're out with your buddies. Like, everybody is. If you're not singing it, you're getting the looks from people like you're the weirdo who's never seen the movie. Or if you've seen it, but you don't know the songs, you're that weirdo. So it's just one of those cultural sports movies that will always be there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then the sequels, when Troy's trying to pick between theater and basketball, like everybody has those dilemmas. You know what I mean? Like in their own way. It's like Jack trying to choose between writing and podcasting. Like, what's he gonna do? He just doesn't know.
And then you snap to the gif of the girl from the taco commercial, and she's like, "Why not both?" You know, I'll
exactly. And that's what Troy did. He did both.
Exactly. Was it the second High School Musical or the third one when they worked at the country club?
Second.
That was kind of crazy. I like that one.
Oh, dude, that was the best one cinematically,
yeah.
I think.
That one.
Baseball, the baseball scene.
Mm.
And they swing the bats and shit. Oh, dude, so dope. And Troy's playing basketball at the college stadium, and I was like, holy shit, that's sick.
Yeah. There was one I just remembered.
Shout out Zac Efron.
Oh, Zac Efron. Not more than a game, because that's LeBron. When the game stands tall, or when the game stood tall.
Oh, yeah.
The one about De La Salle in California when they lost their 120 game win streak.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
That one we watched in high school because I went to a Catholic high school. It was a Catholic movie. They were like, literally, I think
they didn't play Full Court Miracle for you.
No, I can't say we learned about Hanukkah at a Catholic high school, but that would have been a real trip though if they actually threw on something like Hanukkah related, and they're like, "Hey, I know this is Catholicism, but here's a little Judaism for you guys, and just take a look, see what you think. Come back to me, let me know." But yeah, we had to watch that. The movie's it's kind of corny, but it's also it's got its far-fetched truth. Now, the guy that. The kid running back that's set to break all these records, he's not real. That entire story of him falling down on the one, not real. the closest running back to that like guy during that era of when this movie was portrayed was Maurice Jones-Drew, which I thought was pretty cool.
That's
Maurice
cool.
Jones-Drew was there at the time, so they didn't like directly like portray MJD in the movie, but I figured like he was that good when the team was that good that they kind of wanted to like add that little wrinkle, but they added like a completely different storyline for that player and everything. So that movie was really good. And then another movie that just comes to mind as well. It's a hockey one, Mission Alaska. Isn't it where that like there's a team in Alaska that has an NHL team fly out and play them on like a pond?
Yeah,
that was really cool.
Well, I got another hockey movie for you.
Okay.
Mighty Ducks.
Oh fuck, we stink. Wasn't the Mighty Ducks a TV show too, or am I tripping?
Yeah, they made it a TV show at one point, I think.
I'm sure it stunk.
Yeah, I know. Who would watch that?
I really wanted to before we came on, and I asked you if we were just doing fiction, like not real. I mean, I was gonna take Last Chance U. I was gonna take 30 for 30.
Yeah, and you were gonna take Last Dance.
I knew it. Well, Last Dance goes under 30 for 30.
Oh, you were just gonna take 30 for 30? No, you gotta take specific films if we're doing that.
All right, let's do a little cherry on top right here for the listeners. Two 30 for 30s that you go to right off the top of your head.
The U.
Nice. Which part?
And part 2.
Really? I'm a part 1 guy.
I love the part 1, but I love the part 2 with the more current guys. Yeah. Like the Hesters and all those, the Ray Lewises, all of them. Yeah. I would say my other one is either OJ or I would say the one Broke, the one about the football players who can't manage their money. I like that one a lot.
Yeah.
And it's tough because there's so many good 30 for 30s. How about you? If you could have 2, what would they be?
Okay. If I could have 2, I think the Catholics versus Convicts one is really cool. I just think that entire story of like tying it all together with how the students like created those shirts and that entire narrative, that was just insane for the time. And then the second one, I don't know, Sam. I might have to look up because there's like so many that I want to pick.
Steve Bartman.
Well, Steve Bartman is like, the fact that he became one makes me like wonder what today will become like a Steve Bartman one. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if we've had. I don't think we will though,
because with social media, things just get refreshed. Kind of is.
Yeah. I don't want to take like I don't want to take the 85 Bears because that's like chalk.
That's basic.
It's really basic. Yeah. You know, I'm gonna have to go with an OG one. Scrolling back to the top, Run Ricky Run.
Oh, good one.
I like Run Ricky Run a lot. And the one that I really wanted to take instead of Run Ricky Run that I didn't was gonna be Straight Outta LA. I really love how that one was made. They gave it a real like LA flair to it, and they had real LA people come in and talk about it. So that one, for its like cultural significance, was really cool. But I mean, dude, I was just scrolling through all of the 30 for 30s, and I'm gonna be honest, like I've definitely seen like 10% of them.
Oh, I know, dude. I used to think I saw all of them, and I can't keep up with them anymore.
No. There's like, you know how The Last Dance got like 6-7 parts, whatever. There's some of those where stories I've never heard of that have like.
You know what's a really good one parts. Too? Trojan War. That's about the USC. I was thinking about saying that one.
Yes, too. Sam. Yes, that one's on.
Or Fab Five. That's one of my other go-tos. Fab Five.
Trojan War. Oh my god, dude. That one. That's what like I remember because USC was the first college team where like I was like aware enough to know what they were doing, And then I would say like Tebow in Florida was like the
Tebow
first
was like
football,
my first real one,
right?
probably.
But
We
I was
caught the
sort of
brunt
aware.
of USC.
I was sort of aware of Reggie Bush. I wasn't as more
Right.
aware of like Matt
I
Leinart.
became aware of him though in New Orleans was when I became
right. Like when he got drafted, like I
Yeah.
remember every year I had on my Christmas list and I never got it. I don't know why. I've always wanted to ask my parents this, but I never got a Reggie Bush jersey. I got a Marvin.
He's a cheater. He accepted money for.
No, hear about the jerseys I got before and I still have never gotten Reggie Bush jersey. I got Marvin Harrison.
Okay.
I got a Jets Brett Favre.
Oh.
I got a Devin Hester.
Okay, that's a
I
must.
got a Dick Butkus, which was sick. People made fun of me for wearing it when I was in elementary school. Well, just because they're children. And
My
I
brother
actually
has a Butkus too.
I got really upset about it, and I was just like, "Guys, come on, chill out, assholes." And now that I'm a grown man, I don't have any other teams. I actually one of my favorite jerseys that I've ever bought for myself, Ichiro Suzuki.
Ooh, nice one.
Favorite ones I've ever. I actually do. I have a Reggie Bush USC one. I just packed and I took to school, but I have a Reggie Bush USC 5. Yeah.
I'm gonna borrow that this year. But I was going through my jerseys actually this weekend, and I realized I have too many Bulls jerseys. I have like a Rose, I have Boozer, I have Dang, I have Pippen, I have Rodman, I have all the boys. I don't have MJ though. My brother has MJ. But then I was diving into some of the old jerseys I got when I was like young. Got a Miami Heat Shaquille O'Neal for my first NBA game. Stitched jersey. Kids stitched jersey. Stitched New Jersey Nets Jason Kidd.
Ooh.
Boston Celtics Ray Allen.
Cold.
Steve Nash Suns.
Hot. Is it with the like the
orange
around? Yeah. Is it with
the fire?
Logo?
Yeah.
Cool.
And it's the orange one. Those are a few I found, and then I also have like the Peppers on the Bears, Hester, all those bad boys, Urlacher, and of course JC Cuddy. Got to have Cuddy on the team.
I don't think I ever had Cuddy.
Dude,
I've never bought a Bears quarterback, man. I never have. I never bought a Mitch.
Dude, listen to this. My brother's bringing to college. My brother's going to Indiana University. He's bringing a Mitchell Trubisky jersey. Why are you bringing a Mitchell Trubisky jersey? I guess you're just asking for the. I guess you're just asking for the hate. Yeah, it's a Bears one, but you're just asking for the hate. I think it would have been dope if he got a Bills Mitch Trubisky.
I think it'd be dope if he got a Tar Heel one because those baby blues are nice.
Yeah, but then he just got an orange Justin Fields jersey, and he's like, strutting around. I'm like, I respect it, but you just buy every Bears quarterback. I'm like, you're jinxing us. He has a Jay Cutler jersey, and he hates Jay Cutler, so he tries to pretend he doesn't have the jersey. But I'm like, you buy these jerseys every time we get a new quarterback, and you jinx us. So if Justin Fields, God forbid, doesn't live up to what we want him to be, we're blaming my brother. That's the moral of the story.
I'm totally cool with that, man. I'm totally all on board with blaming some bad mojo on Charlie. I mean, whatever.
Yeah,
it's gonna be his fault, and everybody in the city is gonna want to come down on him.
Like, who brings a Mitch jersey to college? Like,
that's not the first one I would get. There's 10. You know what? That's a draft we could do for another day. Like top jerseys to bring to college.
That would be a great pod. You know what? That's gonna be a pod coming out soon.
Yeah, because there's definitely a hierarchy of what to wear, and I'm gonna spoil a pick right now. I wouldn't wear Mitch. But if you got like a North Carolina Jordan, that's a really basic one. But you'd be a lot better off than getting goddamn Mitch.
You'll be twinning with a lot of guys, but it's a respectable pick. But I will say, in terms of jersey cops, before we wrap up this pod, I recently copped a McDonald's All-American Derrick Rose jersey.
That's hot.
Yeah,
that's hot. I've been looking for a while, Sam. And I've stopped for the last year or so, but I've been looking for a Simeon D. Rose.
Oh, I know the place, dude. I bought Charlie one of those.
Say the site right now.
Jersey Connect.
That's not the one I use. All right, I'll write that down.
Jersey Connect.
Perfect.
They're great. Every time you buy a jersey from them, they send you handwritten notes with discount. They're great. They're a great company.
All right, and can I ask this without being too intruding? What country are they
America.
from?
America.
Good. Let's go, Sam. I'm not trying to get anything from Singapore. Let's go.
Yeah, no DH gate for me. I don't
Right,
trust
chill
DH
out.
gate.
Chill. That's where I got my Ichiro one from.
Yeah, but I don't
just
trust it. I
perfect.
just don't trust it.
Hey, I've done a lot of
I've heard
shady
mixed
transactions in
reviews.
my life. I've done a lot of shady transactions. I bought Bitcoin and transferred it to like Peru for fake IDs. Okay. DHgate is far from the worst thing I have ever done in my life. So on that note, we might as well just wrap this one up. Hope you guys enjoyed this. Let us know which ones we forgot. There's a ton because we're absolutely uncultured swine. Like always, not the same time, same place. We will see you guys later.